Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video where I'm doing this beautiful eyeshadow look. I mainly used the Monteverde Cloud Forest palette from Nomad, but I did pull in one color from the Sydney Grace Tropicolor palette when they collaborated with the Fancy Face. So if you want to see this, then just stick around. If you're new here, hey, my name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom who really enjoys eyeshadow, among other things. I do upload several videos a week here on my channel. It's all eyeshadow related content, so if that is your thing, you're in a good spot, and I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. Alrighty, today I want to play with my Monteverde Cloud Forest palette. This is from Nomad, and then I do have a palette pull-in project. I'll card that above for you if you don't know what I mean. I'm working through the Tropicolor palette from Sydney Grace, and I've worked up through shade number 8, so that moves me on to shade number 9. Now, shade number 9 in the Tropicolor palette is actually a multi-chrome. This is called Dr. Bird. In the pan, you might be seeing like a pink or a brown shade. It also has some orange, and it has another shift as well. I can't quite remember. It's like a purpley, I can't remember exactly what the other shift is. I hope you can see something in the mirror, but it is a multi-chrome, and it's gonna be fun, I think, to pair with Monteverde. Today, I think I want to go really colorful today. I think I want to do this and this, and then this shimmer. So I think that the Dr. Bird shimmer will bridge the gap from the green shimmer into the colored orangey matte. So that's my plan. I'm going to prime my eyes with the Glamlit Icing Primer. Everything I'm using is linked down below in the description box. Let's go with the white primer that I have. My lids are a little bit pink from yesterday's look, and I really want these bright colors to pop quite a bit. I want to go very bright today. I'm also going to be focusing my primer right out here in my outer half of the crease, because that is where I get creasing whenever my shadows crease on me. It happens right here. So I'm applying the primer everywhere, but a lighter coat, and then right here I'm just doubling down on it. I'm gonna make this look pretty quick because I don't actually have a ton of time this morning, and I just really want to play with color. So let's go in first with the Blend Bunny B1. I'm just gonna dive into the shade that I want to play with. This is Jaguar. It is the orange matte. Oh, look at how bright it is. Oh, it's so fun. I don't know if I'll be deepening from here. I just want this to be kind of a major color in the look. I buffed off my brush a little bit and kind of dug down into the bristles to make sure I didn't have any other color, because sometimes I use this color for darker shades. I mean, this brush for darker shades. There might have been a bit of brown in there, but that's not the end of the world. It absolutely works with the orange. This is my favorite palette from Nomad. It's just so vibrant and bright, very, very pigmented, excellent quality. I got this palette, I think, after... No, this was first. I think this was my first Nomad palette. No, it wasn't, because I had Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice was my first Nomad palette, but this has always been my favorite from the get-go. Like, when I saw this one released, I was like, oh, yes. But I had to wait a while before I found it for a doable price for me, secondhand. I buy almost everything secondhand, and I just love how vibrant and bright it is. It's great fun. It's a fun color story. It's a little heavy on the greens, which I love because greens are great. Greens are my favorite. Okay, now taking a slightly larger brush, also clean, I'm gonna go into Green Vine Snake. I don't know how these are gonna work together, so I'm gonna start them quite apart. And just tap Green Vine Snake over here. Then when it hits the orange, I'm not going to try to blend them. If I blend them together, I'll probably get brown, which will work color-wise, but I don't really want brown. And I don't want brown in the very center of my crease area. So, oh, do you see how this is building? So good. So when I get close to those colors, I'll just kind of let the edges hit one another and let it go. I'm not going to work them together. It'll be two distinct colors, green and then orange. Now the green is fading a little bit into yellow. That's like that's the undertone of the color, and the orange fades a bit. I mean, the yellow works perfectly with the orange. Like, these colors look great next to each other, but don't try to work them together because you might have some problems. Now I'm going to lay down the shimmers that I want, and then we'll see if we need to, should I do the lower lash line? Let's do the lower lash line first, actually. I'll just take these colors on the lower lash line in the same order. I was going to say, I'm going to lay down the shimmers that I want, and then we'll see if we need to bridge the gap. I want to use that green shimmer, but the green shimmer is not going to work as well with the orange matte. So I will probably use my palette pull-in shade to work quite nicely and pull those two shades together a bit. Oh, look at this pigment. This is ridiculous. It's so good. I was saying, yes, back when I was, sorry, I'm a little rambly today. I'm excited to play with eyeshadow, to play with this palette, but I also have not a lot of time. I was saying when I was trying to figure out in which order I got my Nomad palettes, all I was going with that was to say that this palette doesn't have any issues with the shimmers. I have the Verona Love and Death palette, and a couple of the shimmers are a little more hard pressed. They're just not as easy to work with. They're just not. And this palette does not have that problem. Okay, flat brush, flat brush, flat brush. Okay, I'm just gonna use my finger because it works nicely into the shade Wildlife Wonderland. I'll put this here. Unsurprisingly, look at that, look at that, look at that. It's so sparkly and so pigmented and light and bright. I am bringing that all the way over to the orange, but it doesn't connect beautifully. Do you see? So let's do the palette pull-in. The Tropicolor palette is when Sydney Grace collaborated with Tina from the Fancy Face. Here is Dr. Bird. Oh, that's right. It has purple in it too. Okay, so Dr. Bird, I'm going to tap right here. Remember, this is a multi-chrome. There is some brown and orange in this shade. And I'm hoping that putting it on my look today is going to pull out those tones from the multi-chromatic color options. Anyway, Tina from the Fancy Face. She also has collaborated with Udenzai, and those are the only two that I know of. I actually watched one of her videos yesterday. I was watching her video of the Udenzai 2023 Christmas palettes, so the restock of the original 22 Christmas palettes, which were amazing, and then also the Hey Reindeer and the Snow Dream. And I haven't finished watching her video yet, but on the whole I've heard people are definitely less enthused about those palettes. Anyway, okay. It's lovely, but it's still not, hang on. Yes, okay, so it's lovely, but it's still not quite working into the orange very smoothly. Same blending brush that I used for the orange. I'm just going into the brown here, Two-Toed Sloth, and deepening right here. Do you see that? All of a sudden it works. Now I do say that shimmers can cover a multitude of sins, and I never quite make up my mind about a look until the shimmers are laid down, because they really can, especially with multichromatic colors, they can carry the eye from one color into the next. So sometimes the shimmer bridges the gap perfectly. This time it didn't work quite as well as I'd hoped, because that multi-chrome was really pulling more purple, at least in my lighting right now. I think it's pretty. I'm not complaining. It's just part of the fun, you know, that you get to try on different colors and see what's working. So I'm taking just a small amount of this brown, tapping into the whole outer corner area, but I'm not going to go up onto the brow bone because I want to leave that orange. Honestly, it's still orange out here. It's just a slightly deeper orange, a little more brown orange. And I'm also centering or focusing that where the shimmer meets the matte. And buffing, and I think that's it. I told you it would be quick. I'm gonna go off camera and do the other side. I'll be right back. Here we go. Here's how it looks all said and done. I think it's really pretty. I'm really enjoying the way the colors are playing together. You know what? That Dr. Bird shade was a bit of a wild card. I was really expecting, knowing that it was a multi-chrome, I was expecting it to still pull more on the neutral side of its color spectrum because I was working it into orange, but that didn't happen. I actually got a lot more purple than I was anticipating, and it's pretty anyway. I really think that carrying the, or rather bringing in the brown matte saved the day. Lovely. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Let me tell you what I did to finish off. Again, I didn't do anything in my waterline because still got something going on over here, although it's definitely better than yesterday. The only other thing I did on my eyes was to put on mascara. On my lips, I'm wearing this is Milky Gloss from the NYX Milkshake series, whatever. This is the shade Mango Lassie. They call it flavor, I guess. It's the milkshake flavor, mango. Anyway, on my cheeks, I have the Luminoso 901 blush from Milani, my favorite. I just love a peach blush. There's just a little bit of this on my cheeks, but that's all right. And then I have the ABH Aurora Glow Kit. I took this green as a highlighter. Maybe you can see that. It's sort of a green gold, and I use the same highlighter brush every time. So if I'm going in with a totally different color than I did before, then I'll just buff it off a little bit, but there's generally some sort of color from other applications on that brush. So it's a green highlighter. It's soft and subtle, but I think it's there. And that's the whole look. I think the look is beautiful. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts, of course. I know this was a really quick, very easy video. It was a very easy eye look. Let me know if you're inspired. Let me know if you ever actually do my eye looks. Sometimes people will tell me in the comments, I'm definitely trying this look tomorrow for work. I get so excited when I hear that or when I read that because this is just me playing with eyeshadow, and I am so excited that we can kind of find this common ground. It's a good time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on my video and for giving me a little part of your day. I hope you've enjoyed it and you will consider liking and subscribing before you go if you haven't done so already, keeping in mind that I do upload several videos a week, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!